YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about how do I print my photos, what kind of paper do I use printing my photos, what kind of service do I use, which company to print my photos. Now I got this question from one of my followers and I would like to give you this information so you can try it. It's actually an international printing lab that I'm using at the moment, and I think they send almost everywhere. Well, maybe not in Australia or India or these kind of countries. I'm not sure about that, but definitely in Europe and United States they will send it. I suppose, but you have to find it out yourself, guys. So first of all, let's see what kind of paper do I use. Now, when you go to print, if you are an advanced photographer, you probably will know this, but if you are a new photographer, you don't. So I just tell you this, guys. If you go to print, you have two options. Well, in most cases, you have two options. In some cases where the lab is advanced, you will have more options, like 3 or 4 options with paper. But mostly you will get two options, glossy or matte paper. Now, obviously, if the paper is thicker or not, it depends again if how the lab is doing, but usually they give you one paper thickness and then you will give you the matte or glossy version. Now, glossy you will use only if you print your images and you frame it without glass. So if your frame doesn't have any glass in it, then you can use glossy paper. I personally myself, I don't like glossy paper, but that's only my personal opinion, and you might like it, so, or maybe your client is liking it. So I use glossy only if my clients are asking especially for glossy paper. Otherwise I will use matte paper all the time, or fine art paper. Now that's again something different. The fine art, you will have to print on a more expensive lab to get this option to print on a fine art matte paper. But anyway, that's the paper side. Now if you print matte, you can put under the glass and it will be completely fine, or you can frame it without the glass, and even then I like much better the matte paper than the glossy paper. Now obviously, like I said, this is only personal preference, guys, so don't get offended if you like glossy paper. It's up to you. You can print it, that's not an issue. Now let's get to the printing service. Now I am in Ireland based, and like you probably know, Ireland is a pretty isolated country, so it's pretty difficult to get over here something or get out, because it's surrounded by sea, and it has to come in with airplane or with ferry. You cannot just drive in or drive out. So it's a little bit difficult, and everything, the postage is a little bit expensive, because you have to send by airplane or by ferry, and it's complicated. Anyway, I was using many years, I was using Harvey Norman, which is a store over here. It's like Tesco's or something like that, but for electronics, for electronics and for photography. So if you type in Harvey Norman UK or Ireland, you will see what I'm talking about. So I was using, for simple photos, I was using Harvey Norman. Going down there, print out, they have really good quality. And the printer, the paper is excellent in Harvey Norman. But they have these standard sizes, and that annoyed me, because sometimes I went over there and I had to crop my image because the size, and it was, anyway, I didn't want to do that. So I decided to change. Now, like you probably know, I use Zoner Photo Studio, like a photo editing software. I use also the ISO Photolab, and I use also Lightroom sometimes, but most of the cases I use Zoner Photo Studio X at the moment. Now I use Zoner Photo Studio since the version 15, which was like, I don't know, 7 years ago, kind of like that, or 6 years ago, long time ago. I started to use Zoner Photo Studio then, and I use since in continue. Now many people, they would say, oh, I don't like that. Fair enough, completely fine. You can use whatever you like. Why do I use this? Because it contains the managing, it's a very good photo managing software. It's really good photo managing software. It contains like the Adobe Bridge, it's the same story, exactly. You can manage your file. You can mark your file with stars, with colors, with whatever you want. You can. It's really great. Now that's the one part. The second, it has its own raw converter, and it has, that's the develop section. You can actually edit in raw a lot, including HDR mode, and these kind of things, highlights, shadows, a lot of things, in HDR I'm talking about. Sometimes you want to edit in RAW, because if you edit in RAW, you don't lose that much of a detail, and that's why I like Zoner Photo Studio. You can do a lot in RAW editing, and then without going out of the software, you can get into the editing section where that's kind of like Photoshop with layers and all kind of things, but it's not that good like Photoshop. But the truth is that honestly, I don't really use that much of a thing. I don't like to over edit my images. So that's why Zoner Photo Studio, it's perfect for me. Now let me get back to the point where I was, why I use Zoner Photo Studio, because they have also services on the editing software. If you go on the very back end, I will show you in my computer, we'll get into my computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You get in the very back, and then you have printing service. They print calendars, they print postcards, they print a lot of things, and you just upload your photo. You are in Zoner Photo Studio, you are uploading your photo, and that's it, just order gone. And it's very, very important that when I usually edit my photos and I print with them, the color is accurate. And I tell you something, my monitor is not, I didn't calibrate my monitor since, I don't know, 2 years or something. Usually you have to do that very often. I didn't. And still the colors are very accurate. So let's get into my computer. I will show you what I'm talking about. I will show you in my computer, you can see over there everything. And let's see that. So we are in my computer now, and let's open up Zoner Photo Studio X. Now, as you can see over here, there are some areas of the editing software over here, and the first one is the manager. Now this is what I was talking about in the video, the managing part of the software. So you can just get over here and just get into your computer and manage your photos. You can get up here in the you can choose different viewing, like how you want to compare it, or you want to do two stacked versions. It's a kind of managing part of the software. I really like it. You can do a lot of things over here. Now the second part of this is the developing part, like I said, and this part is where you edit in RAW. Now over here you can do a lot of things, including HDR editing. You can see over here there's the HDR section, lights and shadows part you can edit, and that is like kind of a tone mapping, something like that with your images, but you can do it in RAW. Now the third part is the editor section, where you actually, it's kind of like Photoshop, something like that, and it's also including layers, and all kind of editing, over here. It's not as good as Photoshop, but it's kind of like that. And the fourth part is over here, you can see, is create. Now if you come in here, and if you want a photo book, you can create it over here. If you want a calendar, you can create it. If you want a canvas print, you can create it. Postcards, college print, print photos over here. Now contact sheets, you can do also video. But let's talk now about photos. So you can go print photos, and then you will get in over here. You can get the sizes on this side. Now you can also input your custom photo size. If you want the example, you get custom, and then you can put in over here what size would you like, portrait orientation, landscape orientation, whatever. But you also have these normal sizes, kind of mostly used sizes, in inches and in centimeters. Now if you put in your custom size, it will be exactly the same. I tell you, I did try that. So when you put in your size over here, you see that the picture was cropped automatically on that size. Now if you want to put your custom size, you can do that definitely, and then the photo will be the same. Now if you add this one, then you can just add the rest of the information. What kind of paper do you want? So you can choose over here even the paper color. What kind of color would you like the paper to be? You know, the outside area, this area, the framing area, let's say, of the photo. Now, other than that, you can choose over here, you know, the paper type. What kind of paper would you like? Glossy or non-glossy? You know, this version is only glossy. But if you get over here, let's say, well, let's say just this is okay. So that's it, guys, like you can see over here, and then you give your address and they will send it to you. So that's the service I'm using at the moment. I really like it because the colors, it will be very accurate. So if I edit in Zoner Photo Studio and I print with them, it will be really accurate. The colors will be really accurate, and I really like it. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you liked it. Obviously, if you don't want to use this, you know, it's okay. You can find your own printing lab. I use them because the quality is really good and the postage is not really expensive. I pay only about €7 for postage to Ireland, which is really good. And they send in tubes, you know, in hard paper tubes, you know, the photos, and it will be excellently packed, you know, the package will be really good, and it's only €7, so that's not a big deal. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you liked it. If you have a better option for printing, please let me know. Give me in the comments, like down below. I might use it, you know, I don't know. This is what I found the most useful and the most better quality for affordable money, you know, for printing. Obviously you can do at home yourself printing if you want, but in my opinion this is good. So if you want to add some comments, please feel free and do it. If you want to share my videos, if you like my videos, would like to support this channel, please do it and like and subscribe. Other than that, I wish you a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.